Welcome to this episode of the Cool Podcast. I am Frank Garcia with our guests Stanley Tang and Tony Wu. Today we will be talking about the midterm elections, specifically Proposition 26, which would allow in-person sports betting at tribal casinos and horse track race betting. This proposition would also allow tribal casinos to begin offering roulette and dice games. Profits made by Proposition 26 will be taxed to support state regulatory costs.
Yes, in order for the tribes to become self-sufficient, we must approve Prop 26. This also includes smaller and non-gaming tribes, which will all benefit. Prop 26 will also increase funds for revenue-sharing agreements that provide tens of millions every year to California's smaller, poorer Indian tribes.
I don't think we should approve Prop 26. The massive expansion of gambling in California will legalize betting on professional, college, and amateur sports. 5 wealthy tribal casinos are sponsoring Prop 26, expanding their monopoly over gambling in California, so they can make billions more in profits and continue to pay virtually nothing in state taxes. Maybe this will benefit the tribes, but not the whole of California.
Actually, this proposition will actually benefit California. California's tribal casinos generate $26.9 billion annually for the state economy, supporting over 150,000 jobs. $12.4 billion in wages, and contribute nearly $1.7 billion in revenues to state and local governments. Prop 26 will create more jobs and economic opportunity for Indian tribes and all Californians. So it's not all for the tribal casinos.
Seems like Prop 26 will definitely boost the economy.
Maybe it might be good for the economy of California, but the workers are basically left penniless. Prop 26's sponsors have refused to allow their workers to join unions or engage in collective bargainings, and claim they are not required to pay the state's minimum wage, even encouraging employees to go on Medi-Cal rather than for their health insurance. That's not all. Even worse, they have a history of refusing to follow California's anti-discrimination and sexual harassment laws. One tribal casino behind Prop 26 promised it would waive sovereign immunity for sexual harassment lawsuits in exchange for adding more slot machines. But when one of its employees sued for sexual assault in the federal court, the casino claimed immunity and asked a judge to toss the sexual harassment claims.
That seems unethical.
Though that may be true, it is highly unlikely that would happen again, and Prop 26 will benefit their future generations of children with more school funding. According to this nonpartisan, Prop 26 will generate tens of millions of dollars annually for vital services such as public schools, homelessness, and mental health programs, wildfire prevention, senior services, and other state priorities. All of this will allow future generations to get a better education and better jobs.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when all of those students will gamble their money away at these casinos? Despite state laws that make it illegal for anyone under 21 to gamble, one of the sponsors of Prop 26 regularly allows 18-year-olds to gamble, driving early addiction. Nothing in their measure stops underage gamblers from betting on college and professional sports in a tribal casino.
Those kinds of illegal gambling will be eliminated with Prop 26's strict guidelines in sports gambling. Illegal gambling is often associated with drug trafficking, money laundering, loan sharking, and violent crime. Prop 26 establishes a streamlined process with the Department of Justice to help stop and prevent illegal gambling. Illegal gambling leads to money laundering, fraud, and criminal activity. Prop 26 will strengthen enforcement of California's gaming laws to crack down on illegal gambling and prevent this criminal activity.
That might be true, but expanding the horse racing with Prop 26 is no good. Prop 26 is cleverly designed to save the horse racing industry by expanding sports betting to horse racetracks around California, giving them millions in new revenue just to save a dying industry that drugs, abuses, and kills horses year after year.
Either way, we have the majority of public opinion. For over 2 decades, California voters have stood with Indian tribes, granting them the right to operate highly regulated gaming on tribal lands. Indian gaming has helped lift tribes out of poverty, creating jobs and providing revenues for critical tribal services including education, healthcare, housing, public safety, cultural preservation, and more.
Alright, but this proposition will eliminate competition. The sponsors of Prop 26 made big profits staying open during COVID-19 while their card club competition had to close. Now, they want to drive licensed and regulated card clubs out of business. The bigger casinos want to bury card clubs with frivolous lawsuits. That's some shady business.
Listeners, either way, that's all the time we have today for our debate on Proposition 26. Now to you listeners, which side do you take? Vote yes or vote no? And remember, stay cool and tune in to the next time on The Cool Podcast.